by starting the migration, we have plugged in the new Synology 218 Plus, and I've plugged it into the power supply. I've plugged it into the same network as my my current 212J, and now I need to migrate data from the 212J to the 218 Plus Synology. So you can do that two ways. You can do that via disk migration, or you can do that via Hyperbackup. Well, because my source Synology is a 212J, I need to do it via Hyperbackup. I can't do any disk migration. If you're not sure, you can find the list with all the models that can migrate with Hyperbackup and disk migration. You can find it on the Synology website. Just type in the migrating Synology, and you can find everything you like. Now, the 218 Plus, the new one, that is plugged into the network, but it's a new one, so it doesn't have any static IP whatsoever. So I need to find the IP address first. Well, in my case, I have a DHCP server on my old 212J Synology, and I need to find my IP in there. So I'm just going to show you again. So you click on the control panel. I'm going to DHCP server. Then I'm going to click my interface which I would like to have, and I click the edit button. Now it's gonna roll, and it's gonna show you your internal stuff, your subnet list. That's explained in one of my other videos. And then you see the tab DHCP clients, and if I go there, you can see all the clients that are in there. And one of them is actually the new Diskstation. So it gets its DHCP address from the old Synology server. So, well, that's the first step. So I'm knowing my my IP address from my new Synology. So if I switch, and I've already put it in there. So this is my new Synology. So I type in my web browser, I type in the IP address that I just found, and automatically it goes here. So from this base on, you can start installing your Synology. But hang on a bit. So just to make sure that we do everything right, we're going to click install. Now it asks us to do a basic install actually, so that I'm fine with that. We can just install everything. I'm sorry, but everything's in Dutch on this particular Synology. But the screens will show itself if you see them. So I'm complying with all data on the disk will be deleted. So I'm quite sure on that. So this will take a while, so I will be back in a sec. Now, in the meanwhile, that my new Diskstation is trying to configure itself and get the disks ready. It's very important that on both systems you will install the backup application, Hypervault. So in order to do that, you just go to your package center, and it's one of the standard Synology packages, so you can just download it and install it. So it's loading up. Give it a sec. Here we go. And for some reason it keeps loading a little bit longer. The 212J, my old Synology server, is kind of a slow Synology server. It's just a very small home use thing for consumers, so it's not very fast. So here are all the standard packages that you have from Synology itself. So we don't look at the community packages. So we're going to install Hyperbackup. And we need to do that on the old system. So in my case, the 212J, but also on the 218 Plus, my new system. So just make sure you install it on them both. Then we can continue. So it's trying to install itself now. It's going to download and it's going to install status later on. So again, I will get back to you in a sec when this is done. So in the meanwhile, my new disk station is also ready. So the 218 Plus is configured, and it's just a very standard configuration. I just click next a couple of times, and I'm ready to go. Also here, I'm just going for the package center and install Hyperbackup. So I need to agree first because I haven't done that yet. So I'm agreeing with that as well. Then I can see all the packages, and I need the Hyperbackup. Here we go. So this is a lot faster, as you can see. Status, and it's installed. That's it. Going back to the old Synology, and that's still installing. So I will get back to you when this is finished as well, so we can continue. Well, this takes longer than expected. It is starting right now, so I'll just let this go. Before we start, we need to do a couple of extra things. Going back to the new Synology, we have to enable rsync. So in order to do that, we go to the configuration screen. Then we go to File Services. And we are going to the rsync tab. We just need rsync enabled. So that's basically it. No speed limit, just plain port. And just click apply. Again, I'm sorry that everything's in Dutch. It's basically I bought this Synology over here, so it obviously automatically turns into Dutch or something. But it's on the same location, the same position as in the English version, so don't worry about that. In the meantime, the Hyperbackup on the old system is installed, and you can find it under the Start menu, Hyperbackup. I'm going to start it, and then we're going to create a backup task. Okay, so here we go. I've started the Hyperbackup. And I'm going to create a new task by clicking the plus. It's already opened. That's the wizard. So I'm going to click my remote NOS. And I'm going to click next. Then I need to insert my my IP address that I've got from my new Synology. Well, I had that, and that is 168. So you can see that if I just insert the IP address, and if I click the scroll down button or the button on the end of the line, then you can see that it's actually start finding the new Synology, and you can click on that. So we will do the transfer encryption. We will put it off. The username is off. Then you need to put in your username and password, which you gave in at your new Synology Diskstation. So I'm going to fill that one in. One thing I forgot to tell is that on the new Synology, so the 218 Plus, you also need to install the Hyperbackup Vault. So if you go back into the Start menu and you go into the Package Center, then within the all packages, you can find the Hyperbackup Vault. You just need to install that and make sure that it's running. So going back to the original 212J, then we're going to finish the configuration. So the next thing I had to do was click the shared folder. So I just make it a pull-down menu, and it starts searching again. And in my case, it finds the net backup folder together with the directory of Secustation 1. And that's basically it. And we're going to click next, and it starts loading again. And in this case, we can select all the folders that we would like to back up. And I would like to back up everything. So I'm going to click everything, and I'm going to click next again. Which applications I would like to back up, and I will click everything. Click next again. And you now see all the backup settings. We're just going to click next. Backup rotation, just leave everything as is because I only need a one-time backup job. Going to click apply, and it actually starts loading. It's going to run the job within a sec. Hang on. And here we go. It's going to do all the backup, and we need to wait until the backup is finished before going back to the destination Synology, so the new Synology, and going to restore everything. I forgot to tell you one thing, because when we just chose the applications, you could see that we could only choose the application that were standard Synology applications, so there were no third-party applications in there. So you have to do that afterwards. So you're first going to put over all the data, and you're going to put over all the Synology settings and everything, and then you need to manually reinstall the applications on your new Synology, but there could be another way. So I'll come back to that later on.